Welcome to A Northern Tonight with your host, Mike the Madman Cloud. Tonight on our show, musical guest Reggie, plus an interview with Ron Carter, so stay tuned.
Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to Northern Tonight. I am your host, Mike Cloud, and we have such a jam-packed, fun-filled, exciting show for you tonight that, frankly, it scares me. We got Ron Carter, an IU Jazz director, here with us, along with musical guests Reggie. So stay tuned, and we're going to be right back with Ron Carter after this.
Are you looking for a place to exercise and unwind? Then come to the Kishwaukee YMCA. The YMCA offers an indoor pool, weight room, gym, kids playroom, and sand volleyball court. Additional services include babysitting, swimming lessons, classes, and a variety of family activities. Become a member today. Choose from 3 low-rate payment plans. The Kishwaukee YMCA is located at 2500 West Bethany Road. For more information, call 815-756-9577.
Good evening and welcome back to Northern Tonight. With me tonight is Ron Carter from the NIU Jazz Ensemble. Ron, thank you for showing up tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Well, obviously, teaching and directing jazz involves a deep-seated love for jazz. How did you first discover that you had this love?
Well, I think jazz is basically a music that's derived from the blues and the rhythm and blues, and I've always been involved with that. And also it's related quite a bit to church music. And I've always played in church and sang in church. And so it's,
Ever since you were
ever since I can remember, I always played in church and sang in church. And so I started playing in rhythm and blues bands when I was in 10th grade of high school, and started going out playing professionally. And when I got in college, I started listening to jazz and got more into jazz, into traditional jazz. And so got involved that way.
Excellent. Now, you've taught in a number of cities and schools, and you've enjoyed wide popularity in the East St. Louis area, particularly with the East St. Louis High Jazz Ensemble. What are some of your achievements there?
Well, with that high school group at Lincoln High School in East St. Louis, I started the jazz program there. Even though great jazz musicians like Miles Davis went to high school there, and Leon Thomas and a lot more jazz musicians went to school there. I just started a jazz program there, an instrumental jazz program. And the group had a chance to travel to Europe 3 or 4 times. We played for national conventions all over the country. We played with everybody from Arturo Sandoval to Wynton Marsalis to Eddie Harris, McCoy Tyner. So band did a lot of playing with a lot of great artists. And basically that program became a satellite for jazz musicians coming to St. Louis. And when anyone would come to St. Louis, they'd call over and say, can I come over, stop by and hear your band and work with the band. So we got opportunity, the students got opportunity, and myself had opportunity to learn a lot and interact a lot with great jazz musicians. And even opportunity, they had opportunity to open for Miles Davis concert at the Cool Jazz Festival in St. Louis in '84.
It had to have been exciting for them.
Yeah, it was exciting. And that was the opportunity. I had a chance to sit down and talk with Miles Davis, and we sit down and exchange a few drinks.
Okay. And say have a cup of coffee, but yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so it was a good experience. And
now, is Miles Davis, are you a big fan of his from?
Oh yes.
Back?
Yeah.
An inspiration, perhaps, or?
Yeah, definitely. He was an inspiration for all the students too, because even in '84, the year he came back, and I think he just got married to Cicely Tyson. He came back and they named one of the elementary schools out after him, Miles Davis Elementary School.
Really?
And they inducted him to the High School Hall of Fame too, so that kind of thing.
Cool. Now, I know that you've worked with other youth organizations too with jazz, and I was wondering what it's like to teach all these young people about such a great form of music.
Well, I think jazz, I mean, through the work of a lot of musicians now, the young musicians are really getting into the music. And I think jazz is one of the music that crosses cultural bounds, because it involves so many cultures in the foundation of the music. And what has happened now is that youth programs and college programs are springing up at every university, major universities, small universities, high schools, junior high schools, and even now they have elementary jazz bands now. So,
Really?
I mean, so it's gotten to that level now. An opportunity to hear kids that really want to learn the music and what we're very good at in academia, and also in most cases, most schools are very good at teaching the European side of jazz, the note reading, those kind of things. But the most difficult part is teaching the cultural side of jazz, the part that came from the African tradition. And that's what I've really did a lot of my research in and developing in, as far as teaching bands to really get involved in the spiritual and the emotional and the less logical and obvious part of jazz.
Okay.
And students are really getting into it. In fact, I just left Iowa State University, where I played with their two top bands and did a clinic for the band at Iowa State. So the bands are really getting into it. And I've also had the opportunity to work with high school groups all over the country. You know, so it's just fun.
Great. How long have you been teaching for?
I had the years up. I taught 18 years in East St. Louis, and I've been here 4 years. So.
Okay, so 22.
Yeah.
Have you always had a passion for teaching as well as jazz, or?
Well, I've always had a passion for music.
Okay.
Music and dance. I remember when I was much smaller, when I was growing up, we'd have something at the house or something, and people would pay me to dance. And they were so I remember those things, and I remember being involved in music and singing in church when I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I've always had a love for music itself. And for teaching, I had an opportunity to be out on the road for 2 years. And I just didn't like the lifestyle of being on the road. I love the music, but I just didn't like the lifestyle. And I really enjoy working with students and motivating students and seeing students improve and get better and really get turned on by music and jazz.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Right. And that's just seeing students become successful. And that's one thing why I really felt good about East St. Louis and felt bad about leaving, because I got to a point where over 90% of the students were going to college and were successful in school. And so that was very important. And it's very important when students come back and give you credit for helping motivate them to become a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever through music. So it's very good.
That's great. I haven't seen the NIU Jazz Ensemble just yet, but my producer...
Shame.
I know. I feel bad about it now, too, after talking to you about it, because now I'm really into it. But my producer has, and he says that the show is just excellent. I was wondering if you might want to elaborate on exactly what...
Yes, in fact, this year will be my first year actually directing the NIU Jazz Ensemble. In the past, I've just coordinated the Jazz Studies program and directed the second group, which is the lab band. But one thing we started, Ron Modell is a very good showman, too, directed the band for over 28 years. Great showman. And I think the idea of jazz being associated with dance has always been part of the African tradition, where music, dance, and poetry were the same and always worked together. And I think with a lot of the music that we hear, especially with classical music, it's got to a point where everything's so formalized. And the first thing I did when I got here 4 years ago was to get the audience involved in the music and understand this music is celebration music. This is music of the heart and soul, and not music to sit there and just absorb. It's music to get involved in. And I think what a lot of students say they don't like jazz. When they come to the concerts, they love it because they're thinking of maybe certain types of jazz they don't like. And jazz covers such a genre of music and covers such a spectrum of music that if you listen to any kind of dance music, you're dealing with jazz. And that's what, I mean, whether it's everything from this new age stuff that people are using now to hip-hop to the new country western music now is derived from rhythm and blues. I mean, so if you're dealing with any kind of music now, you're basically dealing with some aspect that makes jazz jazz, which is the syncopation, and the music makes you want to dance, makes you want to move, and that's what it's all about, and just having a good time.
So you get up there, you feel the energy, and just...
Oh yeah, the music creates instant energy because of the combination of sounds and rhythms and dynamics and phrasing, and just the environment. The music, as Miles Davis referred to when I had the opportunity to talk with him personally, he referred to as soul music and not referred to it as jazz. That's something that other people have coined the phrase. But real jazz musicians, people who are really into the music, they consider soul music, music of the soul. and jazz is just a term.
Okay. Well then, what are some of the current projects that you're going to do right now?
Well, we are, as I said, I coordinate the Jazz Studies program, so we have our combos of just around 2 concerts over Diversions, and they have 2 other concerts coming up. Also, we have a concert with our 2 younger bands, the Jazz Lab Band, directed by a new gentleman on the faculty who was at DePaul University for 7 years, trombone player Paul McKee. And Paul is an extraordinary jazz musician and a great teacher. So he's basically taken over doing the lab band. And one of our grad students, Bob Knopp, will be doing the all-university group. And they'll be performing October 22nd over in the concert hall, Boutel, in the Music Building. And referring back to Paul McKee, he's an extraordinary musician. He still plays with Woody Herman's big band, travels around the country. And also plays with Frank Mantu's big band. He was one of the first run call musicians in Chicago. So we have quite a staff here with people like Fareed Haq, who's with Blue Note Record, with his 3rd recording out now.
Okay.
And Fareed doesn't like to toot his horn. He's getting ready to go out on a national tour with Joe Henderson. And Joe Henderson is an international jazz artist, and Fareed in his own right is too. Oh, good. Good. So he's getting ready to go out and do that, and just got back from a tour with his own group. So we have quite a faculty over in jazz. And I think what has happened now is that here at Northern, because Ron Modell has done such an outstanding job of promoting the program, people almost take it for granted that, but they don't realize what they have half in their own backyard until they leave, and then when they become alumnus and they come back and say, man, I should have went to the concerts.
Exactly.
Right, and that's one thing I like to encourage students to come out and support the program. Because the Jazz Ensemble's first concert is November 13th in the ballroom. And we have a great drummer, Harold Jones from the Count Basie Orchestra. Have you seen the movie Blazing Saddles? It's an old movie.
Oh, yes, I have.
Well, anyway, the drummer sitting on the desert playing with the Basie band, all the big afro, that was Harold Jones, played the Basie band. He's now with Natalie Cole. In fact, they're just getting back from Japan, for a month tour in Japan. And he's leaving Natalie Cole coming to play with us. So. And we're touring for a week. We'll be doing concerts in Iowa and in Illinois for a week. And in January, we'll be going out with Cecil Bridgewater, great trumpet player, played with Thad Jones, Mel Lewis, and Basie band. And he's also from Illinois, from Champaign, so he's coming back from New York to go on tour with us for a week.
Coming back home.
Right. In February, we're going out with Ernie Watts, who's a great jazz saxophonist from the Tonight Show band. He's with GRP Records, I believe. Or MCA, one of the record companies, extraordinary jazz musician, saxophonist. And then in April, which is our next big concert on campus, April, get the date right, so Thursday, April 16th, I believe.
Okay.
But we're bringing in the great Slide Hampton. And Slide Hampton was here about 3 years ago with his big band, with the Fine Arts Series, but he's coming back by himself just to tour with us for a week. So we got quite a few things going on, and the band that's looking forward to being out with musicians who are doing what they want to do for a living. So I think that's what makes this program so unique, and why we're able to actually recruit students nationally, from all over the country, because we're the only college jazz group that goes out and tours with international jazz artists, and most schools are are quite envious of what we're able to do. And that, of course, that type of touring was started by Ron Modell, and I'm just maintaining that tradition.
It sounds like you're doing one hell of a job.
Oh, it's a good job, and we got a lot of hard-working students, and I guess
you put a lot of heart into it. You put a lot of heart and soul.
Oh yeah.
I can just tell by the way you talk about it. So.
I think it is that that's why I go back to the thing of dealing with jazz. Most of the time I try not to refer to it as jazz, but it's soul music, because it's music of the soul, and because it's in jazz and blues has influenced all American dance music. I mean, and popular music that is part of all of us, and that's why I encourage all the students to. I mean, with over 22,000 students here on campus, we should always have to beat people away at the concerts, especially when they're free and sponsored by the student, student activity fund, those kind of things. So it's a good opportunity for students here to come out of here, international artists, and hear one of the premier college bands in the country right here in your own backyard, and not to take it for granted.
Did you hear that? You don't know what you're missing. So, Ron, I want to thank you very much for taking your time out of your schedule to come in and do this interview.
My pleasure.
So,
My
It's
pleasure.
been great.
Thank you.
Don't go away after this short break. We're going to be right back.
Student life can be hectic. Trying to learn everything you'll need for your future takes up a lot of time. But some experiences can't be measured in credit hours. How about investing some time in your moral future? Volunteers are needed to help get meals to elderly and disabled people throughout DeKalb County. Meals on Wheels needs your help, behind the wheel, at the desk, and in the kitchen. To have an impact now, call Meals on Wheels at 758-3932.
And now, folks, here is Reggie. How about those boys, Reggie? I want to thank them all for coming out. That was beautiful, boys. Beautiful. All right, we're going to be right back, so stay tuned. Family instability. loss of employment, substance abuse. Each year, literally, thousands of people lose their way on the path of life. When this happens, these men and women need a helping hand, and that's when the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center reaches out. The ARC can provide hot meals, clean beds, and spiritual guidance to help others change their future. Medical attention, positive work ethics, caring and listening is the foundation for the emotionally lost to build their way back to their lives, family, and success. The ARC does all this through the support of the Salvation Army thrift stores. Donations of clothing, usable furniture, and household items are collected, refurbished, and sold to their local communities. Only through your help can the Salvation Army continue its support of the ARC. So please, visit a Salvation Army thrift store in your area soon. And now, folks, if you're not one of them, I'm sure you've seen them racing on by down campus. Got a short little documentary about rollerbladers and bicyclists up in NIU campus, so watch this.
On any campus at any given time, you're bound to see them. Bicyclists, rollerbladers, and skateboarders, and pedestrians, all mixing in a possibly dangerous situation. Northern Illinois University boasts a campus sporting 28 miles of sidewalk and 9 miles of road. What this means is many people use these public ways.
I'll have to be honest, there does seem to be quite a bit of resistance throughout the university community, and I'm not speaking specifically about students, but everyone in general. There does seem to be some reluctance to learn about their responsibilities as far as bladers, boarders, and bikers.
We've all walked the sidewalks and almost been hit many times. Pedestrians and their wheeled counterparts need to show a sense of responsibility.
Throughout the college community, we're not trying to discourage people at all from skateboarding, blading, biking, or any of that stuff. It's our responsibility really to educate them more than anything else. There's no university policy that applies to bicycles on the sidewalk. However, state law provides for bicycles in pedestrian traffic. You're required to yield, and technically, whenever a bicycle overtakes a pedestrian, you're required to give some sort of audible signal.
Recently, there's been a growing concern about skateboarders in the news. Policies were drawn up regarding damage done to the campus.
We have had a problem. The reason we had to institute the policies here on campus is because we had a problem with grinding. If you're not familiar with the practice, blades and boards, sometimes when they're doing stunts, tricks, have caused some damage to some of the surfaces on campus. So I think what it comes down to is a responsibility of the person who's on the blades, the board, the bicycle, to respect the environment that they're in. There are some college campuses that have prohibited blading and boarding campus-wide. I don't want to see that happen. I mean, again, I really enjoy seeing people enjoying the outdoors and enjoying these kinds of activities in the college environment. It's good, clean fun, and I don't want to see that privilege, and people need to understand that. It's not a right, it's a privilege. I don't want to see that privilege taken away.
Every student has a responsibility and needs to respect the environment they're in. If not, further measures may be taken if the problem becomes worse. For Northern Tonight, I'm Pat Stacy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for watching tonight. I'd also like to thank Ron Carter for coming in for the interview, and I'd like to thank Reggie for their studio performance. Now we're going to wrap things up with a little video by Reggie. So until next time, this is Mike Cloud saying, see ya.
my